Welcome to another edition of No Filter Mets. I'm your host, Joe Matariliano. And, this is a big day for Mets fans as we finally get to watch some baseball tomorrow as the Mets are going to get ready to take on the Atlanta Braves in St. Lucie. Just a few things. I think it's important that going into spring training here, we try and be a little more optimistic about the Mets. I know we haven't had the greatest offseason. For that part, we haven't had the greatest last 3 years as Mets fans, but I think it's important to try and be optimistic going into the season. And because anything could happen. Right now, we're 0-0. We're tied for first place, and you never know what could happen. I've been saying it for the last month or so that this team can win a wild card berth. I'm almost positive, but we can pitch. If Pelfrey and Santana can be a legit 1-2 at the top of the rotation, I think that we can be a wild card team. I'm not saying that this team is going to go to the World Series because I don't think that they. I think they're at least one, maybe two players away from being a World Series contender. But you never know. You never know. If they get into the wild card, if they actually play well in September for the first time in 3 years, then you never know. Maybe we can actually make a run at this thing. The one thing, I have to say, I've been mostly pessimistic. I've been like most Met fans and being pessimistic about the moves we've made this off season, as well as basically just the whole attitude of being a Mets fan the last few years is, that of negativity because nothing really has gone our way the last 3 seasons. But I have to say, a guy I'm really starting to like a lot is Jeff Francoeur. Um, I know Jeff Francoeur is not going to be, an MVP caliber type player, but he is a nice player, and I think that if he can do what he did for the Mets after being traded over from Atlanta last season, then he's going to be a real spark plug for this team. I think that last year we went into the opening day with Ryan Church in right field, and I think Jeff Francoeur is head and shoulders better than Ryan Church. So, it's nice to have his clubhouse presence. I think that he's really upbeat. I think that he's going to do wonders for the younger guys. I think he'll really help Jason Bay fit in the clubhouse. I think him and Jason Bay will get along really well. I think it'll take a lot of pressure off right because there's one thing you notice about Francoeur is that he is very eager to get in front of the cameras. He's very eager to give the beat writers a quote. So I think that it's really important that we have a guy like that now in the clubhouse because we haven't had that since Cliff Lloyd and Paul Lo Duca. And now that you got another guy to take the heat off Wright, I think it's going to be really important, and it's going to help Wright relax, and maybe we'll see those power numbers come back. And a few other things. I think Oliver Perez. You've been hearing a lot of great things about Oliver Perez, how great a shape he's in, and how he has this new look, and how his knee is better now. And Santana's been working with him in the off season, just talking to him, and Santana's been his biggest supporter since everybody's reported. So you never know. If Oliver Perez can show up and be that number 3 or number 4 starting pitcher, we can actually be a competitive team. And I don't think we're going to win the division, but I think that we can win this wild card. I really do. It's wide open. I'm not scared of Atlanta. I'm not scared of anybody in the West, even the Dodgers. I'm not scared of. I think they're suspect. They have serious questions in their starting rotation and bullpen, and that's it. Let's be honest here. The Phillies are the favorite to probably go to the World Series again. So everybody else, I think, is. I'm not scared of the Cardinals. I know they have great starting pitching, but I'm not afraid of them. I don't fear them at all. So it's an exciting time to be a Mets fan right now. Baseball is back. It's time to be optimistic. We got to try and be optimistic. I think we have some really. One thing I noticed is we're hearing a lot of good things about guys like Henry Maja and guys like Ike Davis, and it's nice to see that there are some bright spots on the horizon for the New York Mets, which is something that we haven't had in a few years. We haven't really had since Jose Reyes and David Wright. We really haven't had those prospects that we can look forward to seeing and are going to make an impact when they do come up. A couple other things. Jose Reyes batting third. I was listening to Jerry Manuel on Hot Stove Report, and the guy makes me laugh because he really is a great sound quality. There's one thing that I'll miss about Jerry when he eventually is gone from here is his interviews because he certainly is entertaining. Him sitting there and telling Kevin Burkhardt that batting Jose Reyes third is the next step in the evolution of a superstar. I just thought that was hysterical. I hope Jose Reyes can bat third. I'm not sure he's going to give us the type of production that you would need out of a number 3 hitter, but hey, until Carlos Beltran comes back, it's nice to see that Jerry's trying to do something to addressing an issue in the lineup. I think if you bat Pagan first, Castillo second, Reyes third, I think you leave yourself open to being very, no punch at the top of the order. But who knows? Reyes may fit right into the number 3 spot, and it may work out. Who knows? We're certainly going to have some things to watch in spring training. Another thing that since I've been away, Rod Barajas signing. Rod Barajas, I like his attitude. I was reading some quotes from him. I saw a couple interviews, and it seems like he's really excited to work with this pitching staff. And him and Henry Blanco are going to be two veteran catchers, two great defensive catchers who are going to know how to call a game and know how to handle a staff. I think that's one thing that the Mets needed to address was that, yeah, we had Brian Schneider last year, but the guy gave us virtually nothing with the bat. He was hurt all the time. And Omir Santos is just, he's inexperienced. He's going to be a 30-year-old, second-year player. It just wasn't going to work with Omir Santos behind the plate. And it's a shame because I like Omir, but maybe he'll get a chance to go play somewhere else. I'm not in love with Rod Barajas' 220 average. I think that it's going to be tough for him to, switch in league coming over to the National League. The guy mainly played in Texas and Toronto in the American League. It's going to be different playing in the National League. He's going to be seeing a lot of pitchers he never saw before. So I think that's a big concern with me is that the guy batted 220 in the American League, and now he's coming over to the National League, and he hasn't seen any of these pitchers, and he's totally batting lower in the lineup. He's going to see a lot of different pitches. So I'm a little concerned about that for a guy who batted 220 last year. I'm not sure we're going to get anything out of him offensively, but you got to love his attitude about handling the pitching staff. He's really serious about it, so that's a good thing. And I think that if there's any team that needs a real smart catcher right now, it's the New York Mets with all their questions after Santana. That's about all I got today. So like I said, anybody want to comment or shoot me an email, nofiltermets@gmail.com. I appreciate all your support, guys, and talk to you soon.